What's going on, people? Welcome to Keyboard Warriors, presented by Crossroads MMA. My name is Eddie Law. That's Fred Kirby. Aaron Robbins is not here because he's, I don't know, bowling.
Missing in action.
He's MIA tonight, doing whatever he's got to do. We've been off we didn't do a show last week, so we're gonna do it this week. And of course, a couple of events went on last weekend. Ryzen FF, Ryzen Fighting Federation.
The return of Fedor.
What'd you think? You watched the fight. What'd you think of that shit?
Oh man. Okay, first off, let me just address something. I had the Russian stream jumping off or whatever, the YouTube thing. What belt was that? What belt were they giving Fedor? Did he have a belt?
They gave him a belt?
I thought I seen him with a belt in the beginning of the show. I could have swore that dude was holding a belt or some shit like that. I'm thinking, did they give this motherfucker a belt? Oh, I know they didn't give him.
I didn't see any of that shit. What the fuck?
Listen, man, I wasn't impressed. I'm not going to try to do my best GSP impression, but I was not impressed with Fedor's performance, dog.
Yeah.
A lot of that is attributed to the opponent. I didn't know a whole lot about him. I know he's kind of a decent kickboxer, but from what I understand, he wasn't even that great in the kickboxing world. No, he was no Badr Hari.
Not at all.
So Fedor looked okay, but the win was kind of weird. He kind of just basically held him down and big brothered him. I'm annoyed with Fedor at this point, man. He didn't look fantastic. He looked okay, but what did you really learn about him in that fight? He fought, but what was the dude's name? Fucking
Jaydeep Singh.
Yeah, what the fuck, man? What the fuck is that shit? A tuna fight, I suppose, but
he got a couple of jabs off, and then as soon as Fedor blitzed him and took him down, he just held on for dear life. He was just like one of those fucking little aliens from the movie Alien, where they grab onto you like that shit. That's literally what he looked like. Couldn't do anything else. And in hindsight, obviously, it looked like a bullshit fight. And I'm not gonna say fixed. It looked like a little funny for circus fight. Yeah,
yeah. It most certainly was not fixed, but it was a bullshit fight. Yeah. That dude should not have been in there with Listen, man, fucking Fedor, like him or not, is considered one of the greatest of all time. This is a motherfucking GOAT of our sport. This is an Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva's coming back and fighting Michael Bisping. Now, whereas that cockeyed son of a bitch is a mouthy twat, he is still a contender. He's still a very good fighter. Anderson isn't coming back and fighting fucking, CB Dalloway or some shit like that, man. I mean, Fedor should not be fighting guys like this. And it just sends weird, mixed signals. What do you think they're going to do now? Obviously, King Mo looked impressive, had a win.
Punch knockout to win the fucking Grand Prix. That was nice.
Exactly. And he called out Fedor after the fight somewhere on some fucking kind of media outlet. And I got to tell you, that fucking tickles my pickle. As far as shit there is for Fedor out there, yeah, fuck King Mo. Let's fucking have it. Quite frankly, I favor King Mo. And judging upon the recent performances, I totally would favor King Mo in that fight.
Yeah, I'm with you. I really do think King Mo could win that fight. And we'll get the tweet here in a second from Andrew Reed, who's a big time Fedor fan. But I mean, come on, the Singh was not even close to a legit opponent. When they announced this motherfucker as being the opponent, weeks before they did that awful fight announcement, like 2 weeks before the event, where they actually brought out Singh and his coaches and did like an open workout just to like pretend that he's legit. Before that shit went down, they announced him and everyone was kind of like let down. I mean, we fucking talked about it on here. Talking about who the fuck is Jaydeep Singh? No one knows this motherfucker. He had 2 MMA fights, right? And that's it. You're gonna put him against possibly the greatest heavyweight to ever fight ever? The fuck out of here with that shit.
Right, right. It just makes me wonder what their real plan with Fedor is. Was it just a money scheme? I mean, so now he won. King Mo called him out. I'll ask you, what do you think fucking the elusive Fedor does next?
Fedor is gonna fight. I don't know, man. I mean, look, supposedly he's gonna fight in April or whatever, sometime in the next few months. He's gonna fight again. That's what he said, right? I hope they do King Mo. put him in there with King Mo. I mean, who else is there to put him against that people would like legitimate fight?
Right. So, okay. So then I'll just make it really basic then. Do you think they go that route and they give him a legitimate fight, like say a King Mo or maybe even a Czech Congo, a Bellator legit fighter? Or do you think they just give him another fucking canned shitbird?
It's going to be another tomato can. You don't want Fedor to lose. If you're a Rising Fighting Federation, you're the one that brought back Fedor. You're the one that finally convinced Fedor to get out of retirement and come fight for you. You're not going to give him something to kick his ass. That King Mo fight, never going to happen.
Tell you what, I'll tell you what right now, for all of me and all of our fucking 13 and a half fans that we got watching, if they give fucking Fedor another can, I'm not watching it. Not that it fucking matters, but I swear to Christ, I will boycott the fucking event. It's disrespectful at a certain point. You know what I'm saying? Like, let fucking the dude fight King Mo or fucking rustle up fucking Mark Coleman or bring out somebody for that goddamn dude to fight. That that we've at least heard of. Juice Up Couture. Get that fucking fight together. Get him on some steroids or something. Fucking
Andy saying Crow Cop.
Yeah, fine.
Anybody.
That works for me. Yeah, exactly. I mean, just some kind of competition. And quite frankly, I would like to, you know what? Actually, Crow Cop looked good in his last fight, right? He's still coming off is the Gonzaga win his last fight?
I'm pretty sure it was his last fight, and he elbowed the fuck out of him after saying that he hates elbows.
Yeah, I think could be mistaken, but I think that was his last fight. So he's coming off a pretty decent win against a relatively fucking decent opponent. Fuck yeah, why not? Crow Cop makes a lot more sense than any other shitbird that could rustle up. What the fuck? Or you know what, man? Fuck. At least give Fedor Badr Hari or fucking Bachansky or some kind of a fucking legit bad motherfucking kickboxer that we can all get excited and go, hey, this dude might fuck Fedor up, or we'll find out whether Fedor's fucking real or not. You know what I'm saying? Like something.
All I ask for against Fedor from Rising is somebody that I can look at and be like, huh, maybe.
Yeah, no maybe. Shit. At least a face we recognize.
Yeah. I want a maybe. All right. As soon as we heard Jaideep Singh, first thought was, well, who the fuck is this guy? Second of all, is how much is it paying this tomato can? And third of all was, why do I care? I don't. Fuck it. You know what I mean? We all knew Fedor was going to smash him. It looked sad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Mr. Mike Jarvis.
And then they celebrated the fuck out of that thing like he fucking just beat, fucking Verdum and got his fight with his win back, or he fought the next, he fought and beat Brock Lesnar. Everyone's like, woo, he won. I'm like, you fucking assholes.
Mike Jarvis just says Fedor versus Tito, which would be all right in my book too, as far as it goes, for real. Like, just give the dude fucking somebody, man.
Fuck it. Watch to see Tito get his ass beat by anybody. I'll tune in for that shit any day.
It's true.
But regardless, overall, Rising, look, day one was good. I got to see the entire day one on YouTube, and it was good, right? Day two was awful. it was not good. Let's talk about Gabby Garcia. Gabby Garcia gets in there, first of all, weeks leading up to this fight. They had videos of her and Cyborg training and sparring, and she looked bad against Cyborg, right? Mind you, she's taller than Cyborg, she's bigger than Cyborg, and she's certainly heavier than Cyborg and stronger than Cyborg, right? And Cyborg was lighting her ass up in fucking sparring. Then she gets into this fight, and she fucking, she hits this girl a couple times with some decent jabs, nothing too crazy. This fucking little midget chick, Lady Tapa, whatever her fucking name was, throws a fucking overhand left, I think is what it was, and knocks fucking Gabby Garcia on her ass. When Gabby gets back up, she's not punching no more. She's throwing little kitten paws. You know what I mean? She's literally trying to paw at this chick. Like, what the fuck? Gabby Garcia, please don't ever fight again. Ever. Quit.
Yeah, that was pretty horrendous, man. Like you said, the second day was fucking pretty shitty overall.
Mind you, Gabby Garcia is a scary looking chick. I would never say that to her.
Shinya Aoki fucking threw a beating on Sakuraba.
I felt so bad, dude. That broke my heart, man.
Yeah. It was like, Christ almighty, enough with the fucking Sakuraba. Can we fuck? You know what? You see what fucking bringing old bones Ken and Hoist out of the fucking woodwork did? Now we got Sakuraba taking fights. Can these motherfuckers please just hang it up a little bit? At least with fun. I give it to fucking Kazushi though. He's got some stones on him. Shinya's still fucking somewhat of a beast. At least fucking Hoist and Ken are too old to actually hurt one another.
Yeah, and here's the thing. And the thing, you know what got me though? What first got me really, really depressed was seeing Sakuraba. He threw a head kick. That's all he got off, I think, right? And then he got taken down and got the shit kicked out of him. Him covering up, just waiting for the ref to stop the fight, like broke my heart. The part that really got me was Aoki crying and holding him, because you knew he was crying for two things. One, he beat the shit out of his hero, and that was heartbreaking. And two, he just beat Sakuraba. That's a name under his win fucking column now.
Yeah. but it barely counts at this point. But so listen, overall, it was a bad event.
I gotta say it wasn't the best.
They keep trying to recapture that pride thing, and here's the deal. Ryzen was slightly fun, and that it did have kind of the Gabby Garcia fucking freak show thing going on, which is always entertaining to a degree. I love that kind of shit.
Yeah,
but it didn't have no real competitive nature, and that's what Pride actually had. Pride had legit stars mixed in with some freak show fights, and it worked. But nowadays, every time a organization tries to do some shit over in Japan, it's just never the same, and it's always a little fucking weird.
I'll tell you what changed, though. It's the UFC trying to change the thing into a legit sport. Even Pride was a circus, right? Because everyone was juiced to the fucking gills, and we loved it because you saw superhumans in there fighting. Now UFC has made it so fucking everyone was drug tested. It's a legit sport. You know, everyone's worried about concussions and all sorts of shit now. And you can't go back to the freak show anymore because it's not much fun anymore. I mean, fucking Bob Sapp fought Akibono, all right? And that was like they were trying to make a movie in the middle of the fucking ring, and it was awful. You know what I mean? Like, fucking, there was a point where Akibono has Sapp in the corner, and he's punching him, and Sapp is like making all these faces like, oh, I'm taking damage. Oh, it fucking hurts. And then he does this thing where he's like, where it's like, okay, I'm going to gather everything I got inside. And he fucking turns his face towards Akibono like a fucking movie and starts hitting him back. And he punches Akibono to the middle of the ring, and then they just start trading fucking punches. That was a goddamn joke. Entertaining because I was laughing the whole time, but goddamn joke.
Yeah. But still, like I say, that shit will never be the same. You know what I'm saying? They always try to recreate Pride, and they never will. So it is what it is. Now, before we get on to last week's event and the Carlos Condit Robbie Lawler event, I wanted to touch on something that I had just kind of heard of earlier today, and it alludes to the steroid thing. Kind of a nice little what they call a segue. In the business. The notorious Nick Diaz was on Chael Sonnen's podcast this week, and he was accusing Mr. GSP of taking steroids. Now, that's not uncommon for Nick. Nick has accused George of juicing before, so has BJ Penn. A lot of people have. And ironically, George has fucking bitched about that shit and complained to the moon. But the interesting part is, so here's the quote. George St. Pierre was on steroids when I fought him. They didn't test us because I would have tested positive for sure. I thought it was my last fight ever. Why do I care? It's like almost asking too much to win and not give away that fine. I'm like, what do I care about that fine? The dude needs to come back and give me another fight as far as I'm concerned. As long as I can fight. They did not test him for steroids for that fight. They did not test us. So basically, Nick is saying, I smoked weed. For sure. All y'all know I smoked weed. It's cost me everything at this point. I'm coming out with it. I didn't test positive for the weed. George didn't even make weight for the fight. And, you know, so I don't know, man. I find that very interesting. Just him saying that George took steroids, yeah, there's that. But him, you know, coming out and saying that he smoked weed before the fight and not testing positive, did they test him?
Here's the thing. Anderson Silva has said before that, I don't know if it was Anderson Silva or somebody else said, Anderson Silva wasn't tested randomly up until he tested positive for Thai dick pills, right? So who knows? Maybe they didn't test any of the big names. You know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe you know, maybe that's why John Jones got away with coke all the fucking time for as long as he did. Maybe, you know, it's all weird, man. But Nick calling GSP out for steroids, not new. Nick making a legitimate argument and something like logical and a little bit of common sense in there fucking blows my mind, to be honest with you. I'm just like, God damn it, Nick. I'm a big fan, but I did not know you could actually put together arguments, motherfucker.
Yeah, no, well, listen, that's the thing, man. You know, like when I first heard that, it was like, oh, Nick Diaz accuses GSP of taking steroids. I'm like, oh, of course he does, no doubt. But then when I heard the angle of him saying, look, I smoked weed and I didn't test positive, so I know for a fact that it's like, well, fuck. It's a pretty decent point. you know, for what it's worth, I guess not that it fucking really matters any now. GSP ain't fucking coming back, and if he does, he ain't giving Nick Diaz shit. So whatevs.
Yeah, and I don't know. There's so much fucking weird, shady shit. I hope someone does like a tell-all book in the next like 10 years where it's like GSP. They go, yeah, we didn't test GSP. We knew he was on fucking roids. We didn't give a fuck. We want to see, we wanted a cash cow to stay together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we gave Ronda Rousey every easy fight possible. We knew Holly Holm would fuck her up, but we didn't think she was gonna fuck her up like that. Stuff like that. Speaking of Ronda Rousey, she's actually gonna be hosting Saturday Night Live on the 23rd this month.
Yeah, that's good, man. You know what? That's a good thing for her. I think they're probably going to roast her. I think they're going to fucking probably make fun of the fact that she got knocked out. She talked a lot of shit. And I'll tell you what, I think this is a good thing for Ronda. I think the fact that she's willing to do this and she's going to put herself out there in public, I think she might be getting over it, man. I think there for a while she had that God complex and she got beat and it was fucking kind of weird. But I think the fact that she's going to go on a show like this where she knows she's going to have to like play along and be kind of made the fool, I don't know. It just seems like she's willing to accept it now and kind of get over it. Now, I don't think that means she necessarily can beat Holly Holm in a rematch, but I just think that I don't know. It's a good step for her. Positive.
You know what? Here's the thing. It's a genius PR move. If she's ready and willing to get roasted about getting knocked the fuck out, and if she's able to make fun of herself about it, It's huge. Because fans are gonna be like, oh, look, she's eating some humble pie. Okay, Ronda, I see you now. What's up? Let's see what she's got now.
I think she has to. I think she has to be able to make fun of herself. I think that, I mean, come on, like that. That's where they're going to go with this fucking thing. She's going to get made fun of a little bit. She's going to have to humble herself and kind of fucking make fun of herself. And you're right. I think it'll work, man. I think it'll come across as endearing. People will be like, okay, well, maybe she's not such an uptight bitch. Shit happens. So that's cool. It's good for Ronda and positive for her fans.
And that's the thing is she, she put up that shit the other day on her Instagram that said it was some Shakespeare quote, and I'm sure someone can tweet it to us in a second, but some Shakespeare quote talking about they used to love me too or something like that. Did you get to see that on her Instagram?
I don't follow Miss Ronda on Instagram. She won't be following me back, so fuck her. I don't follow her either.
Whatever. You have like 1 million Instagram fucking followers, dude. Every picture you put it up, 5 seconds later, it's like. What the fuck?
Hey, Ronda Rousey ain't on that list, Jack, so fuck her. I ain't following her. I ain't doing that shit no more. You don't follow me, I don't follow you, Jack.
Oh, what is she? I can't fucking find it now. Where the fuck is it? Anyway, here it is. I was adored once too, William Shakespeare. And that's her last Instagram post. I think she knows that there was like a landslide of just shit thrown her way. You know what I mean?
I think she kind of knows she deserved it too. She's not a fool. Like that's probably what makes it so bad. She's probably like, damn, a bitch was talking all that shit and fucked around and got knocked out. But I think that's why this whole Saturday Night Live thing's good. I think she's about to be like, all right, fuck it. Here we go. I think this will truly kind of, I don't know, in a weird way, get over the hump for her. Like she's done a couple little interviews, but I think this will be the big one where the world will kind of tune in to see what her reaction is like. And if she makes fun of herself and feels like she's ready to be over this shit and move past it, I think this will be like the turning point for Ronda to kind of get back on the horse, honestly.
Yeah, now Andy tweeted out right now, says, yes, Ronda has got her head so straight, she's gone back to media campaigns. That's a problem. You can't come back and try to fight in a title fight by doing movies and doing more media and shit. So her doing this show and still planning to do those 2 movies she has planned tells me we ain't gonna see Ronda until at least the end of 2016.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. When are they supposed to announce? They're supposed to announce who Holly Holm's going to fight.
Yeah, and the rumor is it's Miesha Tate.
Yeah. How do you feel about that? Does that work for you?
I'm okay with it. Miesha Tate will be a legit fight. Miesha Tate knows how to double leg bitches. All right.
Yeah, but can you imagine? Can you imagine if Miesha Tate wins? Motherfucker.
Yeah, she better take that belt and like fucking flee to Mexico or something, because Ronda Rousey will be back like that. Like, oh, I can beat that bitch. Get me back in that shit.
Yeah,
so fast.
That sucks for fucking Miesha. I know I can beat that bitch.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, I can take that motherfucker. All right, let's go. Get me back in there. Hey, Ronda, your jaw's falling off. Fuck it, tape it on. Let's go. I can take that bitch off again.
No other time will Ronda be more of a Miesha Tate fan than if Miesha Tate happens to fight Holly Holm. Ronda's going to be like, come on, Miesha, pull it out.
Oh man, that would be fucking hilarious. Now here's the thing: I think Miesha Tate could be Holly Holm. I don't think she will. I think she could. Now it all depends. I mean, fucking Holly Holm was able to stop Ronda's judo, but Ronda doesn't have a double leg takedown to save her life.
Precisely.
Can take bitches down, no problem.
Yeah,
no, get Holly Holm.
Listen, no doubt about it, man. I was screaming it from the mountaintops after that Ronda Rousey fight. I think she needs a more diverse takedown arsenal. Obviously, her judo shit has worked very well, but clearly she ran up against one bitch that had that shit figured out, and she had no backup plan. Miesha Tate's plan A is the backup plan. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. That's all she kind of has is the doubles and the singles and the ankle picks and the more traditional wrestling style takedowns. So that'll be interesting, man. Yeah, of course I think Holly Holm's going to win the fight. I think, just like going in to the Ronda Rousey Holly Holm fight, after seeing what Holly Holm did to Ronda Rousey, I'm going to assume that most people are going to assume she'll be able to fend off Miesha Tate and her takedowns. But, it's a test that she'll have to pass.
Yeah, real quick. And this is super random. I have TweetDeck. You ever seen TweetDeck?
Nope.
All right, TweetDeck is this thing online where you can get like a bunch of columns or shit that you want to see on Twitter. And and so I just looked at it for a second to see if anyone tweeted us. And there was on the very left side is a column where whatever tweets are coming in for people I follow come in. And somebody retweeted a tweet that says, "Lottery winner dies after gold plating his testicles."
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think we know where Aaron Robbins is tonight.
Yeah, there he was.
I don't think he's here anymore. He gold plated his balls because now he's all successful. Anyway, all right, moving on here. What did we have last weekend? UFC 195, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's a really good event from start to finish. I mean, a lot of fights went to a lot of fights were good. Even some of the ones that went to decision were pretty good. Dustin Poirier against Joe Duffy. Who'd you pick on that one? I think you picked Duffy.
I did pick Duffy. Pick Duffy, man. That was I'd say that was probably fight of the night up until the main event. But that was a fucking fantastic fight, man. I would say that fight lived up to all the hype. Great fight. And I tell you what, I wasn't all that terribly disappointed in Duffy, honestly. I thought he looked really good. I think that his
Oh shit, we lost him. Well, I'm sure he'll be back in a second. His computer was fucking up. No chance what? The fuck you guys talking about? I think Mike, I'm thinking you're talking about the Miesha Tate thing. Tate Holm. Let me find out what the fuck happened to Mr. Kirby. Anyway, I fucking didn't even hear what he was saying a second ago. But Dustin Poirier against Joe Duffy. It was yeah, he was right. It was probably fight of the night up until we got to the main event. Of course, was fight of the night. That shit was baller. But other fights that went down. The Joe Soto Tanaka fight bothers me because Tanaka should not have won that fight. You know what I mean? But again, Tanaka took the middle of the cage, held Soto on the outside, and kept the middle of the fucking oh shit, kept the middle. Fucking A, Andrew. Get the middle of the octagon. Andrew tweeting over. You could gold plate Aaron's bollocks with melted down nose ring. It's fucked up. All right. The first gonna get back in a second. Anyway, real quick on the Miesha Tate thing, she could beat Holly Holm. All right, so I know Mike's like, no way, no, there's no way. It could happen. I think she has the tools to do it. Whether or not it's gonna happen, I think it'll be one of those fights where Holly sticks and moves, and people are gonna get annoyed at her, kind of like the first two fights she won, and everyone's gonna be like, oh, so close. Was it Rocky? Rocky P. Pennington could have beat her, and she could have. But I think if Holly Holm point fights Miesha Tate, she'll beat her for sure. But Miesha Tate could possibly take her down. What if they book Holm versus Cyborg? Holm, I'll tell you what. Holm won't knock her out one punch. Might knock her out with a kick. But Cyborg has zero chance against Holly Holm. I don't care what anyone tries to do to sell that fight. Cyborg is sloppy as shit on the feet. And as you saw, Holly Holm is as pinpoint accurate as you can get as far as women's MMA today in the striking department. So do I want to see Han Holm against Cyborg? No. Are casual fans going to love that? Absolutely. As soon as someone tells them, oh, this is giant chick named Cyborg who just murks chicks left and right and Invicta, and they show all her highlights of her just destroying chicks, they're going to want her to fight Holly Holm. You know, but I don't think it's going to happen ever. You know, Cyborg screwed up. Cyborg fucked up, not dropping to 135 while Ronda was still champ. That was the money fight. And as soon as Ronda got knocked out, Cyborg's career took a hit. The only money fight she was ever going to have just went out the window. You know, and I remember talking. Toho did a show, or one of his postmortems for the UFC 193, and he was trying to be funny, but he made a good point. The only reason that anyone knows the name Betch Correia is because Ronda Rousey knocked her out face first on the straight at a Compton poster. The only reason that Miesha Tate's, you know, and look, a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this, but the only reason that Miesha Tate's career is even relevant is because of Ronda Rousey. Let's see if Fred's back in a second here. And you know, the only fucking reason that Cyborg was a name is because Cyborg was murking chicks on her end, and Ronda Rousey was destroying chicks on this end. So everyone wanted to see that fight. Ronda Rousey gets knocked out. Everyone lost money. You back?
What the fuck do I know about it? I assume I have no idea what the fuck's wrong with this cocksucking computer anymore. It does whatever it wants. Fuck. It's fucking disappeared.
Fuck it. I started talking about Ronda and oh, what the fuck? This is interesting. UFC and Triple G both have Madison Square Garden reserved for April 23rd. That's weird, right?
I put my money on Triple G.
Yeah, look, fellas, everyone watching, I know everyone wants to think that
MSG's going to get done.
That New York's going to get done. It's not.
No, yeah, that's what I meant.
I don't think so. UFC wants to play it up like, oh, it's going to fucking happen this year. It could happen. Yeah, fuck it. Anything could happen. I mean, apparently North Korea says it conducted a successful hydrogen bomb test. It could blow some shit up. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. By the way, that's fucked up. Mike just said that shit to me. You get that tweet too?
Yeah.
North Korea says it has conducted a successful hydrogen bomb test.
Oh, well, man, North Korea can kiss my ass.
First of all, thanks North Korea for telling us our nukes are on their way. All right, congratulations. You just destroyed your entire fucking country, dipshits. Don't tell
all right. UFC 195. Joe Duffy. Did it stop, drop, in your opinion, or what? He lost, but he looked good, right?
Stop the hype train. It stopped the hype train. I think so. His hype's not that great anymore, but people saw him get just beat down and taken down and everything. Now, it did start for the call out for to see Duffy against Nick Diaz, because that would be a stand-up war the entire time. Or even, is Paul Felder 55?
Yeah.
Make that fight. Duffy, did they already fight? They didn't fight already.
No. But yeah. I do like the Nate Diaz fight if he doesn't fuck around and get Connor, which would be interesting.
Yeah, Duffy Felder or Duffy Diaz would be legit.
Yeah.
But what do you think? Poirier at 55, power, fast, didn't look bad at all. Even at the weigh-ins, he looked like he was like just fucking around. He was like, all right, cool, I just showed up.
I'd like to listen, he looks great, right? I'd like to see him get a legit fucking kind of name at 155, man. Maybe the loser of Pettis Alvarez. You know, I want to see him get a name of some kind, like so he can get a chance. You know what I'm saying? He deserves a name. He don't deserve to be in no number one contender fight per se, but he definitely deserves a chance to fight. You know, listen, Duffy's a rough fight, man, and he doesn't really have much of a name value. You know what I mean? That win didn't do a whole lot for Dustin Poirier to fucking Joe Blow, your average fan. So he deserves a fight that if he wins it in impressive fashion will at least kind of, you know, gain him some fucking notoriety.
Yeah. And you know, I still want to see Joe Duffy do well, though. I want to see him get up. That McGregor-Duffy rematch would be great. Yeah,
listen, you're right. It does kill a lot of that hype for sure. Mm-hmm. But this is what I like about Duffy. His holes are kind of obvious, right? His striking still looked good. When he was on the feet, he was fucking dusting up. He's just susceptible to takedowns. And once he got taken down, his jiu-jitsu off his back wasn't very good against a high-level grappler on top of him. Dustin knew how to, you know, fucking keep the pressure on and fuck him up. Because Duffy's all right off his back, but he's definitely got some improvements to make. He definitely needs to I think he definitely needs to get some defensive wrestling. Fuck that learning how to play guard shit. Let's just not hit the mat no more altogether. What the fuck? Let's just prevent that shit. Give him the fucking Chuck Liddell special.
Oh, for sure he's gonna train that for the next fight.
You know
yeah. Abel Trujillo didn't knock out Tony Sims. He guillotined his ass. Did you expect that to even be the case at all?
Kinda. I suppose I wasn't hip to the Tony Sims cat, but yeah, once they got in there and got to engage it a little bit, I was kind of like, this is probably going to be a short night for homeboy.
Yeah.
You know, Abel Trujillo's an animal. What the fuck? He's one of those guys too, though, that, like, you know, if you get, I feel like he's a nasty storm for the first round and a half, but if you can get past that, all those muscles need oxygen, Jack. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like he's definitely there's a blueprint to beat Abel, but he's tough. What the fuck? And if you're not a very good fighter, you ain't got shit for Abel Trujillo.
Yeah. All right. Stipe knocks out Arlovsky and then calls for a title shot. I argue he's not going to get it. I don't think he's going to get it. I think Overeem's going to get that title shot.
Yeah. Listen, I think it has a lot to do with the fact that Overeem has the his contract negotiations coming up, right? Yep. Yeah, exactly. You're right. I think maybe he'll try to negotiate a title shot out of that shit. Pull a Gilbert Melendez, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, yo, I'm fucking dipping over to Bellator unless y'all fucking guarantee me a title shot with re-signing me. And in that case, he's kind of got the UFC by the balls a little bit. They kind of need to do that. Listen, man, I don't know what it is about Stipe, but I don't give an F. And he's from Ohio, man. Like, yeah, I don't know why. I know, man, but it's just something about the guy. I'm still not sold on Stipe for some reason, man. I you know, I don't know, man. I can't explain it. Some guys kind of sell me and some don't. And I know that was impressive. I know that Arlovsky was on a major tear there. I tell you what, man. And I know you Stipe fucking, he starts woofing and fucking puffing at Dana White and everybody and giving him his fucking time. I tell you what I would do for you, Stipe. Much as I like you, here's the deal. And this would really suck for Big Ben a little bit too. Overeem's the name. He just knocked out JDS, who has a win over Stipe. Okay. I would fucking give Overeem the title shot, and I would make Stipe fight the winner of Big Ben Josh Barnett. Now, I know that ain't gonna make Stipe or his fucking fans happy.
Oh no!
But I just don't feel comfortable giving him the shot yet, man. I would say he deserves it, I guess, but he ain't sexy enough. Let's be honest. I don't give a fuck. Like, and if I don't give a fuck, a hardcore MMA head from Ohio would have to really, you know, get up for that fight. Believe me, Joe Blow don't give a fuck about Stipe Miocic, man. He needs another fight if he wants to sell the fight. They can sell the Overeem fight now, man. And they better before Overeem gets knocked out again.
Now, you bring up a really good point. People get really upset when you talk about, for example, when after Conor McGregor knocked out Jose Aldo, everyone's like, oh, Frankie's going to get the fight, right? Frankie's going to get the fight. A week or two later, Nate Diaz calls him out, says all this other shit, right? And immediately everyone starts going, oh, it's good. Diaz McGregor will be the shit. And people start losing their minds. Like, no, Frankie deserves it. No Jose Aldo rematch, no Nate Diaz fight. Frankie deserves the fight, right? When are people going to let go of this fucking idea that the UFC gives a fuck about being fair? They don't give a fuck. You fucking said it perfectly. They want sexy fights. They want money fights. They don't give two goddamn shits about what's fair.
But you know what, though? It ain't just that. What fight do you want to see, motherfucker? Would you rather see fucking Overeem fight for the title or Stipe?
Overeem. No, you're right. No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But that's the point.
Fucking fight. And I know Overeem's been knocked out by Big Ben, fucking Travis Brown, and probably 3 other people's names who are eluding me right now. But he's still fucking Overeem. He's coming out a knockout win over JDS. Sold. Fuck it. Nothing else really matters, man. Stipe, you know, even with the win over Arlovsky, man, for some reason it just doesn't seem as impressive as the Overeem fight with a win over JDS. Kind of blows for Stipe because I would say he deserves it. And listen, if Overeem gets hurt or something, Stipe's the natural go-to. But if not, man, sorry, bruh, you got to win one more fight.
Yeah, I think he could beat Rothwell. I really do.
Quickly before we move on to the main event of this card, what do you think about that fight, Rothwell and Barnett? You think Rothwell stands a chance against Josh Barnett?
Barnett's gonna fuck him up and then dry hump him on the ground.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that Ben Rothwell's a pretty easy guy to not get beat by if you're clever. I mean, he's very big and very strong, but I think Barnett will just kind of avoid that for the first round or so and eventually end up submitting Big Ben.
I hate to say this about Ben Rothwell because anyone that gets in the cage has the balls to get in there is a bad motherfucker already. However, Ben Rothwell is super easy to overlook. He's super easy to take light. You know what I mean? Do you think Overeem legitimately trained for that fight? No. Yeah, when he got in the cage and he was fucking trying to move around and shit, when he was sat there and he took a bunch of hits, from anybody. It's anytime Ben Rothwell fights anybody, his opponent never takes him seriously. It just never happens. And then he does that fucking laugh bullshit. Even less fucks are given for this guy. So it's like gives a shit. Barnett, on the other hand, takes every opponent seriously. That's who Josh Barnett is. So what are we gonna see? Barnett's gonna smoke this motherfucker.
And so here's the deal, man. I think that's what Stipe needs. For me, that's what he needs because I agree with you. I think that Josh Barnett will beat Big Ben, and then Josh Barnett versus Stipe is kind of sexy. And Josh Barnett presents some interesting problems. And I'll give it to the cute cocksucker. If Stipe can come out and win, or certainly if he comes out and finishes Josh Barnett, he does not need to blow a cranium again. You will get your title shot, bro. And you'll deserve it. And we'll all give a fuck a little more. But right now, I feel like Stipe he still needs another big one, man.
And you know what? That's so weird to say about the heavyweight division where there's nobody anymore. It's like 5 guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But still, you know, that's why we do this. We build that shit up.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, main event, dude. Robbie Lawler, Carlos Condit goes 5 fucking rounds. Now I'm gonna go first. Condit had 1 and 4 for sure.
Yep.
And Lawler had 2 and 5.
Yep.
That third round was a disputed motherfucker. Now I can see why they just gave it to Lawler. Lawler held the center of the octagon more, but Carlos landed more punches. However, every time Robbie hit Condit, Condit's head would go flying. Right?
Yep.
I still think Condit won the fight.
Who you thought Condit won?
I had Condit winning when I watched it live, and I had Condit winning when I watched it a bunch of times after. Barely, but I had him winning.
And I disagree. I had Robbie winning, and I'll tell you why I had Robbie winning because of basically what you just said. Mm-hmm. For the most part, it's really simple. Robbie won rounds 2 and 5, and then Condit won 1 and 4, right? And then 3 was the big question mark round.
That's the one.
And that was a very razor thin round. So here's the deal. For me personally, this is the way I look at it. Round 3 could have went either way. And you know, if you had given it to Condit and Condit had won, you know, half the people would be right and vice versa. 2 things. A, Robbie's the champion. Now, I know a lot of people don't subscribe to this idea that you have to beat the champ to take the belt. Mm-hmm. But I kind of feel like that to a degree. I feel like if the fight is fucking paper thin like that, you know what I'm saying, then the effort that Robbie put forth in the 5th round towards the end of the fight, throwing the kitchen fucking sink at Carlos Condit and trying to kill him and almost finishing him in a weird way, that won the fight for Robbie. It won him the round and the fight in my book. You know what I mean? Because really, it was a very close fight either way, so it could kind of have went either way. But I guess for me personally, if nobody stops those guys, mm-hmm. if they're in an alley somewhere and that fight keeps fucking going, it felt like Robbie was fixing to take over and eventually knock Carlos Condit out. He was really fucking going for it at the end. But had the fight got scored for Condit, I wouldn't be sour. So really, anybody calling it a robbery is a fucking moron. It was just a really close fight that could have went either way.
Mike, real quick, going back to the Rothwell thing. Mike Jarvis tweets over, Schaub knocked out Rothwell and Rothwell knocked out Overeem.
And there you go, right? MMA math at its greatest.
MMA math, exactly. And yet, UFC gives 0 fucks.
Where's Big Brown now?
Doing podcasts and shit. He's doing well, by the way. That dude's doing real good doing that shit. Yeah, but here's the thing. It all, to me, we saw a change in judging, right? Because, for example, Nick Diaz against GSP. GSP looked a lot more fucked up than Nick Diaz did. Like, GSP's face was fucked up. You remember that fight, right?
Yeah, and for sure.
GSP still won the decision. Yep. More takedowns and everything, right? Now, in this fight, it seemed like it should have been a no-brainer. Carlos Condit won, except for the fact that every time Robbie hit him, he made a dent. And Robbie held the center of the octagon a shit ton. And that, they fucking put so much weight on it this time around.
But you know what, though, man? I wouldn't have been happy if Carlos Condit had got the win. I don't feel like he did enough to take the title. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I guess if that was a normal fight, could he have won? Sure. But it was razor thin, and you'd have had 100,000 shitbirds saying that Robbie got screwed.
Yeah.
So I feel like if that's the case, we can't fucking take the title. You know what I mean? Like, in order to take the belt from Robbie, I felt like that would have been a shitty way for Robbie Lawler. Had he lost the belt, I feel like a lot of people would have kind of felt like it would have been like the Johnny Hendricks things, kind of, where a lot of people in fucking, Canada still feel like, oh, George is the champ. But a lot of people kind of feel like Johnny won that fight either way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people might feel like Condit won, but Robbie won. So
you're right.
Champ stays the champ.
You want to be the champ, you got to beat him. And I kept saying before the fight, before the event went down, I said Condit's gonna have to knock out Robbie Lawler to get that belt. Because Robbie, you're not taking Robbie Lawler to a decision with only a stand-up game and winning.
Or Carlos Condit should have had the 5th round that Robbie Lawler had. And Carlos Condit came out and fucking took it to Robbie in that 5th round, like Robbie took it to Carlos. I think that would have solidified a win without a finish. But it being the other way around, at the end of the fight, when you see the fucking champion welling on the challenger and the challenger fucking doing that number, I don't give a fuck what happened 2 rounds ago. It's hard to give that guy's belt away, man. Fight's too close. Too close.
All right. So
where are they going from there? Though? What's next for Robbie?
And that's what I was going to ask you. Condit said he's going to retire.
Yeah,
possibly, maybe retire. I think if they give him the immediate rematch, he won't retire. Now, if they don't give him a rematch and he doesn't retire, Condit, what was it? The fucking people were saying Condit versus Matt Brown, who finally get that fight.
For sure. I can think that.
Robbie Lawler, you either give him the Condit rematch or you give him Tyron Woodley. But I was talking to Mike Jarvis on Twitter earlier today. Woodley's last 2 fights were one, Gastelum, right? Gastelum coming overweight and he was sick and he couldn't finish Calvin Gastelum.
Yep.
Couldn't finish him. Yep. Before that, he beat Carlos Condit because he blew his knee out.
Yep.
So he deserved a title shot off of that shit.
I don't know, man. I feel like I guess he's the guy that's kind of in line, but he's not very sexy. You know what I mean? Tyron Woodley, fucking Robbie Lawler. Ooh, Jesus Christ. Can you imagine the fucking numbers that would do? That straight sounds like an old school Strike Force like card or something. Yeah. That's not very sexy at all, man.
What's the thing? Tyron Woodley versus Robbie Lawler sounds like a brawl, but Tyron Woodley will gas out.
Tyron Woodley will wrestle Robbie. He will wrestle fuck him, or he will try. I do not think he will. I do not think he will try to stand and bang with Robbie very long.
He's going to get tired real fast, and Robbie will survive. And in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, he will pick apart Tyron Woodley and finish him TKO. I really think so. I think Tyron Woodley, if he doesn't finish you in the first 2 rounds, wrestle, fuck, or standing, he's fucked.
Yeah, you know what's interesting, man, and I don't know if you watched any of the post-fight show, but DC was kind of making jokes about it with Tyron Woodley. You know who I think is the total dark horse in this division right now is Damian Maia.
Yes, he is.
And I actually think personally that Damian Maia poses the biggest threat to Robbie Lawler's belt.
If he gets back to the ground, absolutely.
If he gets Robbie to the ground in the first round, it's pretty much a wrap. I mean, Robbie's a good kid, but Damian is on another level, and if he gets him down the first round, I think he could submit Robbie relatively easy. And quite frankly, with who did Damian have his hiccups against? Jake Shields, and somebody else. And Jake Shields, you know how that motherfucker is. He's the American wet blanket, Jack. He's got a way of sucking the life out of anybody, and that was still a close fight. In today's welterweight landscape, man, I think Damian Maia presents a lot of problems for a lot of fucking people. Tyron Woodley or any of the top contenders.
Check it out. Mike Jarve sent me this thing real quick, and I just looked up Tyron Woodley on SureDog. Actually, he beat Carlos Condit because of the knee injury in March 2014. Then he fought Rory McDonald a couple months later in June, lost to him, and beat Dong Hyun Kim in the first round at Bisping versus Lee. A fight, an event not a lot of people watch, so that's probably why I don't remember it. And then Kelvin Gastelum be a split decision. Just the fact that it was a split decision against a fat sick guy bothers me. Yeah.
Getting the win off that. Well, he starched out Dong Hyun Kim, I think, in the first.
Oh, he fucked him up.
Yeah, that's what that was. So that did give him a little extra hype. Listen, I guess you give it if you're not going to do the rematch with Carlos Condit. They're probably not going to give it to Damian Maia yet. So might as well give it to Tyron Woodley, I suppose. And quite frankly, like I said, I think Damian beats Robbie. And I love Robbie, and I would hate to see that happen, but I think that's a bad stylistic matchup for Robbie. I think Robbie can beat Tyron. And Tyron's been shooting his fucking mouth off for a month of Sundays. He wants a shot. Here. You know what? You really want your shot? Have at it. It's a fight that you'll probably lose, and they want to hear your fucking mouth for a while. So, yeah, give him a shot. It's not going to sell. They might have to put that shit on Fox Sports 1 or Fight Pass or some shit because it ain't going to fucking headline no pay-per-views. But, I suppose, unless the fucking, the almighty George comes back, I could see if, maybe if he comes back for like 200 or something like that, UFC 200.
For what's his name? Faraz Sahabi's been talking a lot of shit for the past few months of like, George is planning to do something big. He's planning to do something big. He did it again this week. GSP's ready, planning to do something big. He's gonna come, do something great. But he stopped short of saying he's gonna come back. Yeah.
Whatever. There's always so much speculation about that dude, but he is out there. If he does decide to come back, obviously that's a massive fight for Robbie too. So.
All right, man. Let's talk a couple weekends from now. January 17th. Sorry, January 17th is Sunday. A Sunday card again.
That's weird.
Yeah, weird. And everyone in the East Coast is gonna be pissed off, man, because that card starts at 10 p.m. for you guys. That shit's gonna go till like
1
in the morning, 2 in the morning, something like that. You better hope for all finishes. But
right,
it's free FS1. Yep. And a couple of fun fights on this thing. Paul Felder against Darren Cruikshank is going to be cool. I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, that'll be a really fun, action-packed fight. I hope Paul Felder wins. And that's not a knock on Cruikshank. I just feel like Paul Felder is a really good fighter. He keeps kind of getting the short end of the stick in a lot of fights. So it'd be cool to see him get a win and kind of start building. Plus, I feel like Felder's got more upside for the division in general. Yeah. I love Cruikshank, but he's kind of almost like a specialty fighter. Unless he fucking wings out a wacky fucking sideways spinning back kick and gets a crazy finish, he doesn't have a shitload else to offer, and he's not going to be making a run at the title. So,
yeah. Another fight on this card is going to be kind of pretty cool. Is they had Maximo Blanco against Dennis Bermudez, but Bermudez got hurt, and they brought in this new guy, undefeated vet, I think RFA guy. Oh no, Legacy FC guy, Luke Sanders. I don't know a lot about him, but he knocks motherfuckers out. Yeah, he knocks motherfuckers out. So it should be a fun fight too. Marbek Taisumov against Chris Wade, and Patrick Cote against Ben Saunders.
That'll be fun. A couple old schoolers.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the fuck's going on with them though now. Well, where are they at in their careers? Are they coming off of wins, or what's going on with the Killer Bee and Patrick? Patrick Cote's coming off a win, isn't he? Didn't he fight not too long ago?
Yeah, he fought somebody not too long ago, but I'm not 100% sure who it was.
I don't think it was a very exciting fight.
No, Ben Saunders had a weird fight in his last fight, if I'm not mistaken.
A weird ending.
Yeah. Well, I looked that up. Let's talk main card. Ross Pearson is Francisco Trinaldo. That should be all right. I'm not going to say it's going to be a super exciting fight because Francisco Trinaldo.
Yeah, he's that dude, man. You know, Trinaldo's weird, man. It seems like he either has a really kind of cool, dominant performance, or he has a weirdy-beardy kind of fucking slow, sluggish, not great performance. What the fuck?
So check us out.
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
That fight. I don't know how I feel about that fight, man. I can see Trinaldo making that fight ugly.
Yeah, I could as well. Now, Patrick Cote's on a 2-fight win streak. Joe Riggs and Josh Bergman. Not impressed with those. Not impressed with either one. Ben Saunders on a 3-fight win streak. Chris Heatherly, Joe Riggs, and Kenny Robertson. Not impressed with that either.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think facing each other is going to be a good fight.
The battle of the unimpressives and shit. They're on a 5-fight win streak and don't nobody give a fuck about anybody they beat.
Yeah, exactly. On the YouTube, what the hell? On the YouTube, someone says, call that boy Nick and remind him to do the pick'em. Oh, he's talking about UFC pick'em. All right, never mind. Sorry. It's completely unrelated. I got to call Nick after the show, I guess. What about Travis Brown, Matt Mitrione, man? When I heard this fight, I'm like, man, go. Old Meathead just got himself knocked out.
Yeah, I think this might be the end of the train for old Meathead.
Yeah.
I like Meathead, man. I like Matt Mitrione. But he, I don't know, man. He never really lived up to his potential. I guess I kind of got hyped on him for a minute there, and I felt like he was going to do some big things. And he had this great movement for a heavyweight and shit. And I don't know. That never really translated. He won a couple fights, 2 or 3 in a row, and then he'd get knocked out and shit. And
if you remember correctly, if I remember correctly, didn't he do some weird ass like 2-second guillotine choke tap out to Mary Roswell, and then you gave him shit on Twitter, and he actually responded to you, which is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, no, yeah, because he tapped out super quick to Ben Rothwell, fucking like super quick, like Ben was going to fucking assassinate him there on the goddamn fucking. And he had tweeted something about a Bellator fighter, I think. I can't remember which one, but one of the cats had gave up due to leg kicks or something like that. And Matt Mitrione made some tweet like, hey, man, if you can continue, you should continue, or you shouldn't give up so fast, or don't be so quick to give up. It's like, hey, Matt, you gave up before he even locked in the choke, my dude.
And what did he say to you when you fucking tweeted? Because I know he responded to you. It was fucking hilarious, though.
He said something like, well, I've been in national, he gave me a list of his accomplishments and then proceeded to ask me what I have done. Which, bravo, Matt, you big shitbird. Congratulations. You was almost half of nothing. Fuck. You almost made it to the NFL, but you didn't. You almost was a UFC champion, but you wasn't. And yeah, I never done any of that shit. But guess what, Matt? I never aspired to. Cocksmoker. I never planned to be in the NFL. I never failed at nothing. Faggot.
You just got to put on the list, man.
Fuck him.
Anyway, Travis Brown coming off that TKO loss to Andre Arlovsky that basically started the meteoric rise of Andre. That just got stopped this last weekend. So he's coming off the TKO loss. He's over at Glendale Fight Club. That right there makes me, very uneasy about him. But just based on what he did before he went over to Glendale, he should win this fight pretty easily.
Yeah, you know what? I was just fixing to say all the shit that I just gave Meathead. I think I'm going to pick him because it's fucking training with that goddamn what the fuck's that prick's name? Tardamian.
Fuck him. I don't know. He's a garbage coach.
If he's fucking still training with that guy, who knows, man? Travis Brown might fuck around and come out and get knocked out too. One thing about the heavyweights, man, you can really never count anybody out. They're always fucking one small glancing blow away from fucking knocking the other one out, man. So I would assume Travis Brown has more tools to win that fight. But Meathead could surprise him and clip him. Fuck silly ass Andre Arlovsky did. So
yeah. No, he's a fucking. This is an exciting / interesting fight at 155. Anthony Pettis, Eddie Alvarez. Pettis is number 1 rank. Alvarez number 4. You could potentially get a title contender out of this one.
I love this fight, man. I tell you
fight.
what, too, man. I was maybe this is the reason. Maybe this is the reason why I just don't like certain guys. I fucking can't take RDA, and I swear I think that prick's cheating or something. But it's probably just because he fucking beat my fucking dude. I was a real big Anthony Pettis fan. I am a real big Anthony Pettis fan, and seeing RDA do him like that, it was just kind of like, what the fuck, you know what I mean? Like all of a sudden the magic just was gone. But I still think that Anthony Pettis is a bad motherfucker, and I think that RDA is a cheater. So I'm super stoked to see Anthony Pettis get back in the fucking cage and see him do his thing, man. And I tell you what, even though Eddie Alvarez has had not such great results since getting to the UFC, he's still a badass, tough, gritty motherfucker. Like, if Anthony Pettis gets this win, which I think he will, he'll earn it against Alvarez. Alvarez will hit him, and it will be a fun fight for sure.
Mike just tweeted out the picture of Rothwell's guillotine on Meathead. It looks awful. That's not even in. That's not even in. I don't know what the fuck. All right, whatever. Meathead panicked. Anyway,
I should retweet it and tag Meathead in it.
I do it. Fuck it.
I think he blocked me.
Oh, did he? All right. But yeah, I mean, look, before RDA, basically beat the shit out of Pettis in 5 rounds. Mind you, Pettis didn't get finished in that fight. All right, and Cowboy just got blitzed in the first round. So, but before that, he beat Gilbert Melendez. He armbarred Benson for the title. Beat Donald Cerrone via body kick to the body. And remember that fucking liver shot that knocked down Cowboy? Joe Lozon, Jeremy Stevens. Anthony Pettis is a motherfucker at 55. A motherfucker at 55. And so I think he wins this fight, he should get a title shot.
Absolutely. That's how you do it, okay? Listen, he was the champion. He lost. Now he's fighting a bad motherfucker. Eddie Alvarez isn't quite, top 2 or 3 per se contender, but he's still a very tough challenger. And if Anthony can beat him, certainly if he finishes Eddie in any kind of fucking tornado kick impressive fashion, he absolutely deserves a title shot, because you're right, man. Up until fucking the Juice King came in and fucking stole his belt, Anthony Pettis was doing his goddamn thing. And you know what? Fuck that. I'm all over RDA at this point. I'm just fucking waiting for it to come out that motherfucker has been cheating. I'm on to him.
You think McGregor could beat RDA?
Fuck yeah, he could.
All right, let's say McGregor beats RDA. Pettis beats Alvarez. McGregor Pettis could be a legit fucking fight.
Listen, here's the bottom line, man. I'm talking a lot of shit. I don't know what. If I was in control of Conor's career, I would keep him at 45 for the time being. Frankie's a dangerous fight, and Frankie's a guy who used to be a champion at 55. I think fighting Frankie at 45, even though it would kind of suck to still have to cut that extra weight, would be a good gauge to kind of see how Conor would do at 55. Because Frankie's basically, he fought at 55 for a long time, so you'd be getting a little taste of that. I don't know. I like to make fun of RDA, but the reality is the dude's a fucking savage, and he's shown a great ability to get off on people first. He's aggressive. He does not really, Anthony Pettis is very creative and very great, but he requires time and space to set his rhythm up. And the same thing with Cowboy, kind of. I think Cowboy kind of thought they'd get in there and bob and weave around a little bit, and RDA's done a real good job at just coming straight forward at people. And as much of a Conor nut hugger as I am, and as much as I don't like RDA, I don't know how Conor would deal with that, especially with a bigger guy like that. It would be interesting, man. And Conor certainly could beat him. What the fuck? Conor just fucking snuffed out Jose Aldo in 14 seconds. Anything's fucking possible. Anything's possible.
I still can't believe we saw that shit.
Yeah. But RDA has looked like a fucking destroyer lately, and honestly, I mean, he'd probably be favored in that fight. I don't think they do that though. Do you think they would make that fight? RDA? Yeah.
Hell no.
I don't think so. Not yet, man. Not yet. If anything, at 55, I'd say maybe a Nate Diaz or something. I can't see them giving him he hasn't even defended the belt one time at featherweight yet. As much as I like Conor, come on, man.
Check this out. On YouTube, Darkest Fangs, I think he's one of Nick's friends. Conor would destroy RDA. He would be way too quick for him.
Well, listen, That's one theory, but you know, Anthony Pettis is a pretty, you know, a pretty bad motherfucker, and he wasn't relatively too quick for RDA. Like I said, I think RDA be cheating, but he is fucking tough, man. He's looked really good in his last fight, so it is what it is. We'll see what happens, but let's wrap this thing up and let's do the fucking the big one, man. Dominic
Cruz.
Yeah. Finally, the goddamn bantamweight belt will get some motherfucking legitimacy.
All right, Dominic Cruz gets TJ Dillashaw. Dillashaw got the belt, and he defended it twice now.
Yeah, technically once against Soto and
Soto. Yeah. So he's defended it twice. This is his third defense. Dominic Cruz, we last saw him against what's his name, Mizugaki, and he fucked him up. Before that, he hadn't fought in 3 years. So
yeah,
he hasn't fought in a little, I think a little over a year now. He hasn't fought. So, you know, the injuries and everything. I think it's one of those things where Cruz could win the title and then just retire, maybe. Because look, he's gonna keep getting hurt.
You know, I don't know, man. I think there's two schools of thought with this fight. On one hand, I think you're gonna have a lot of people who feel like TJ Dillashaw, you know, just tries to be like Dominic. I think you're gonna have a lot of people that feel like Dominic Cruz just does what TJ does, but better.
Way better.
And then I think you're going to have a lot of people who I think I actually tend to be on the bandwagon with, who kind of feel like TJ has taken what Dominic did 3 years ago and evolved it and added power with it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I think, I don't know. It's a great fight. I guess we'll find out. We'll find out if Dominic Cruz's footwork is really that supreme, or if it was just against guys that weren't as good as TJ Dillashaw. It's funny, they did the little did you see the thing, the back and forth that they did where Dominic just straight snuffed TJ?
Here's the thing. This is what I keep saying about TJ Dillashaw. Look, I think Cruz is going to win the title, and I don't think it's going to be that hard, okay? But one of the things that Cruz does is he's actually smart. TJ Dillashaw is a meathead, all right? He's not that smart, all right? The fact that he couldn't come up with anything to say to Cruz at all, Cruz was just like, it was like Cruz might as well have been right next to him and just like poked him in the fucking eye just over and over and over and over again because TJ didn't have shit for him. Nothing. Cruz is just too smart. I think Cruz just being smarter and just overall being a more intelligent fighter is going to fuck him up.
Possibly. But here's the deal with Cruz, for me at least. I feel like what Cruz was saying to TJ during that exchange was that TJ hasn't fought anybody like Cruz, which is true. But you can reverse that. Who has Dominic fought that is like TJ Dillashaw? Believe me, it ain't Mizugaki.
Hell no.
You have to talk about fucking stationary targets. Mizugaki stands there like a goddamn zombie.
You know, he just takes shots.
You know,
that's all he does.
Uriah Faber is an explosive grappler, but he's never been known for having fantastic footwork.
Oh, well, check this out. Cruz fought Johnson in 2011 and beat him. Decision. There's not many people that are quicker and faster than Demetrius Johnson.
True, you know? but Demetrius is small.
Yeah, he is. He's very small.
And he lacks a lot of power that TJ has. So, but listen, obviously the name of this game is footwork, man. Who has the better footwork? Who can hit who? Dominic says that TJ will not be able to hit him, so that power will not matter. We will see. Because I think that those are the two important things: footwork and the power of TJ Dillashaw. When TJ connects, if he can, will it hurt Dominic? And you know, is Dominic as good as he thinks he is as far as avoiding the strikes?
Yeah,
he talks a good game. I give him that. That fucker was bringing the heat verbally. I was like, damn, Dominic, sound low key like Conor McGregor out there. Nobody touches me.
His thing with Dominic, he doesn't even try. He's just a confident motherfucker. He tells what he feels is the truth.
He's smart. So. It's weird though, you know, man. I've been a fan of the sport for a long time. I've been a fan of Dominic Cruz's for a long time, or you know, been aware of him. He didn't used to be like this. It seems like he used to be kind of quiet. Or I remember when he first got the belt, it was kind of he was a weird champion at first, man, because he was kind of quiet and docile and I don't know. He's definitely grown into himself since he's had all this time to do the Fox analyst shit.
Yeah, you know what? If he retired or anything, I wouldn't mind seeing him just step into the booth full time.
Oh, for sure. He's definitely got a career doing that shit afterwards, no doubt.
Absolutely, and coaching. All right, so that's gonna be the card. That's not even this weekend. It's next weekend. I was looking up and down to find more MMA events. Nothing
at all. So this is an off week for us.
Yeah, this is an off week most likely for us. So if Doc Robbins got shit to do, he can get it done this week and next week.
There you go.
All right, so that's going to do it for us tonight. Thanks for joining us on Keyboard Warriors. Follow me at Elot31. Follow Kirby at Kirby_MMA. It's going to do it for us, man. So, yeah, thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys next time.